Alright, now for the next phase, which is the interview itself. Now for this phase, I came up with a bullet point or a bullet list of things that you can do during an interview that will be very helpful. And along the way, I will elaborate on some things I feel like they need to be elaborated on. Maybe give y'all some demos of what I'm trying to talk about too. So first things first, look professional. If you look good, you feel good, and then you perform good. If you have any piercings, just in case. Now I'm not against self-expression. So if you have piercings, I would just take them out just in case. Because you don't know who you don't know who the interviewers are, you don't know how they feel about piercings. They may say that's not professional. You don't want them saying that. It's just for a little bit of time, just take them out just in case. And you may have some interviews that don't even care. You may have some interviews that may have piercings on them as well. So it just depends who you get across that, across the screen or the camera. So next thing, when you introduce yourself, say that you appreciate the opportunity to be interviewing at the school. That just shows a sense of courteousness and professionalism. That's basically it. Next thing, whenever the interviews are introducing themselves to you, remember their names with their appropriate titles. And the reason why I say that is because whenever they ask you questions, whenever you answer, always start with their name and their appropriate title. And I'll give you all a quick little demo of what I'm trying to get at real quick. So, Star, we see on your application that in terms of your experiences, you have experience working with wolverines in Alaska. Do you mind just elaborating on that more for me, please? Of course, Dr. Dre. See, I was actually born and raised in Alaska on the tundra. That's where my family's from. And there's a wildlife veterinary up there that goes by the name of Dr. Frost. I actually started shadowing under him. And he likes to work with all types of different animals up there in the tundra, particularly wolverines. Even though they cause serious bodily harm and injury and possibly death, I also grown to like to work with wolverines as well too. So yeah, that's kind of where I got my experience working with wolverines. That's it. That's my little demo. Hope you enjoyed my little demo there. And by the way, I would never work with wolverines. I feel like that is a death wish. I opened up with in this case, Dr. Dre, and that just gives a sense of, respect to the interviewer and just professionalism. And it will go a long way, and they'll definitely will remember that. So make sure you open up with Dr. such and such whenever answering a question. On the same thought of answering questions, make sure you answer confidently and honestly. If you feel yourself grabbing for answers or imaginary answers, don't do that. Tell the truth at all times. Do not lie, do not make anything up. These interviewers have probably interviewed multiple people. They know the sign, okay, whenever you are not confident in your own answer. So be confident, don't make anything up, and tell the truth. And if you need to, you can't find the right words to say, just calm down, stop, and collect yourself. Just for a brief moment. Collect your thoughts, and then start again with the answer. Never ramble. I feel like rambling in an interview is literally like snowballing. It's like a snowball effect. The more you ramble, the worse it gets. And another thing is, if you get asked a question by the interviewer and you do not know the answer, once again, don't make things up, don't lie. Just say, I don't know. That's a completely acceptable answer. And to go even further with it, you can say, I do not know, but I would like to know. Or you can say, could you please explain that to me? And I'll give you another quick demo about that real quick right now as well. Because this is actually something you may be asked during an interview. Because this is something that's always kind of like brought up in veterinary medicine. I think I was asked about this. So Star, do you know the difference between animal rights and animal welfare? And if so, what is your thoughts on that? Actually, Dr. Halsey, I can't say I actually know the difference, but if you don't mind, could you explain it to me? Well, of course. So animal rights is the belief that animals should not be held in captivity. They should not be used for any purposes within human society in terms of food, clothing, sport, entertainment, experimentation, and instead should be allowed to live freely from human intervention and to operate within their own faculties. Whereas animal welfare is animals can be used in human society, like I said, for food, clothing, etc., for even companionship animals is too. But there has to be certain guidelines put in place. They must be treated humanely and ethically correct, and their quality of life must be maintained. Thank you for the explanation, Dr. Halsey. And based on the explanation, I would say that I support more of the animal welfare side of things, just because I do believe in providing animals with a good quality of life, and that animals are a part of human society. So I would say I definitely agree with the animal welfare side of things. There you go. That's how you basically answer that question. I start with, I don't know. Can you explain it to me? The interviewer's going to explain it to you. Not going to say, you should know. I'm not going to do that. And you have a good, conversation there. That's just a little demo to kind of help explain what I'm trying to get at with that. And also this leads me to something I probably should have said during the preparation phase, but make sure that you're up to date on current topics in veterinary medicine. Like I said, animal rights, animal welfare, those are actually current topics in veterinary medicine and just animals in general. So be up to date on those topics because they may ask you about it too. And if you're not, then like I said, use my little demo as an example of what you can do. You can actually explain it and then you can answer it based off how they explain it to you. And then these last couple bullet points are pretty much self-explanatory. Run through them real quick. So if you're on Zoom, have sticky notes, have notes on your monitor, etc. This is an interview, and you're not the only one interviewing that day, so do everything you can to give yourself an advantage. So if you need to, have little things written down on your desk, sticky notes on your monitor, just to help you recollect and recall things. If you get to a point where you maybe are blanking during an interview, then you can look at it as a little sticky note to help you remember and answer the question. Only elaborate when asked to, or if the question requires you to elaborate. Not every single question is going to require you to elaborate and give a long-winded explanation. So sometimes it's best to keep things simple and sweet. And also, do not bring up grades unless they ask you. Because if you do not do very well on the subject, then it's best that you keep that to yourself. Remember, this is an interview, and you're not the only one interviewing that day. You want to make sure that your interview goes as smoothly as possible. So don't do anything that's going to hurt yourself. And that is it for the interview phase. That's all I really have for you there. Now for the last phase, which is the closing phase. It's very simple, very easy. After they're done asking you questions, now they're going to probably say something like, do you have any questions for us? And this goes kind of back to your preparation phase and your research phase of the preparation phase. But you should already have questions ready for them based on what you researched on the school and etc. etc. And a good rule of thumb is to, I would say, have about 2 to 3 questions. You don't want too many because they have other things you got to do, and also they also have other people at the interview, so your time is limited. A good question could be, where is some place to live on campus or around the area? Another one could be is, can you explain to me about how the scholarships work, or can you talk to me about scholarships and how much can I receive as a first year coming in? And if you want to, you can ask some more deep diving questions like, what is it about the school that you love to the interviewers, or what is the environment on campus like? And another thing to keep in mind about these interviews is that this interview is not just a one-way interview of them interviewing you, but you're also interviewing them. So having good questions at the end to really check off all your boxes in terms of the school is really important. And then one question that you should always ask, and I think this is in any interview, is when do you expect to hear back from them in regards to the decision? And that's it. That's your interview. Congratulations, you finished your first, second, third, fourth, whatever interview you're on for veterinary school. And also, this is just one thing. This is a major, if you want to type deal. You don't have to. I didn't do it, and I did just fine. But send a thank you card. You can get their address, send them a thank you card to say thank you once again for the invitation, the interview, and for your time. That's just courteousness and professionalism. I never sent a thank you card to the schools that I interviewed at. I don't think it really affected me much because I got accepted in all the schools I interviewed at. And I'm not trying to say it to brag, I'm just telling you it's up to you. I don't think it really makes or break an interview. I give all the glory to God and to the reason why I got accepted in all those schools. Because I remember I was so stressed. I was stressed out during interviews. I sure was. And God blessed me that I did good enough to get accepted in to all of them and have a choice of the matter in terms of which schools I wanted to go to. So that was a blessing from God, and I thank God for that to this day. But yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you for taking time of your day to watch this video. I really appreciate it. I hope this video helps you. Hope this video answers some questions and can clear some anxious feelings about these interviews. Trust me, they're not bad, okay? You're gonna do just fine. Just be confident and you'll be all right. And I wish you the best. I hope you all receive some good news very soon after your interviews. And that's it. So with that being said, like always, God bless you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video.